Today's video is on hymn number 406 in the Lutheran Service Book, "To Jordan Came the Christ our Lord." And it's found in the Epiphany section of our hymnal. And if the tune to you on the way in sounded like a 16th century German Lutheran tune, well, that's because it is. This hymn is a Martin Luther hymn. His name is right down there as the author of our text. And it has a tune that, in my opinion, pretty much gives that fact away, because many of those early Lutheran hymns sound alike, especially, I believe, those hymns that have minor tunes that are set with Martin Luther's text. Those all, right, like, "In Adam we have all been one huge rebellious man," or "Our Father who from heaven above," or "By all your saints in warfare," right? They sound so similar. There is a certain sound, and this hymn, this tune has also got it. But actually, as much as I talk about this tune sounding just right for this text, it was not originally intended for this text. Originally, it went with another Luther hymn. That was his hymn version of Psalm 67 that we know as "May God Bestow on Us His Grace." And that hymn is 823 in our hymnal. So originally this tune went with that hymn, "May God Bestow on Us His Grace," but very early in the life of that hymn, it got a new tune. So Christ unser Herr, Christ our Lord, which is the name of this tune for our hymn. Again, you can always find that information on the bottom of the page in the Lutheran Service Book. But this hymn tune was freed up for a new text, and Luther wrote this one, "To Jordan Came the Christ our Lord," to go with it. So the text and the tune, this text and tune have been paired up since the beginning, and German Lutheran composers like Pretorius and Buxtehude and Bach, all of them have appreciated the combination here as well, and have their own musical settings of this combo. So there is a second tune for this in the Lutheran Service Book, and you may have guessed that because the top of this video has two hymn numbers next to the title, 406 and 407. So the second tune is 407 in the Lutheran Service Book on the next page, and that tune is called "Elvet Banks." You can see that down there. And that tune was submitted to the hymnal committee that LCMS, working on the Lutheran Service Book, submitted to the hymnal committee in the year 2002 by its composer, whose name is David Lee. And he submitted this for consideration as the tune for our text for "To Jordan Came the Christ our Lord." And the committee liked it so much that they just had to include both versions, 406 and 407. So interestingly, the alternate text for this, or the alternate tune for this text rather, "Elvet Banks," 407, is also the alternate tune in the hymnal for the Luther versification of Psalm 67 that originally went with the tune, that "May Christ Bestow on Us His Grace." So that may sound confusing. Go back and watch it again. But yes, "Elvet Banks," the alternate tune for both "May Christ Bestow on Us His Grace" and our hymn of the day, "To Jordan Came the Christ our Lord." I just find that interesting that the 16th century Lutherans made sure that these had their own distinct individual tunes. And then the 20th century Lutherans are like, you know what would be great is if we gave them the same one. That would be wonderful. So both are included in our hymnal, and both are beautiful. Actually, you know what? I have to admit, not Pretorius, not the composer Pretorius, but "Elvet Banks" is probably a little bit easier to sing, but I like that original pairing. I like it a lot, and so I'm glad that that's the version that we will be singing in church this Sunday. So, finally, a little bit about the text, because that's a lot about the history of the tune and everything. This hymn was written, again, by Martin Luther as a teaching hymn for one of the 6 chief parts of the Catechism. And I will let you guess which part by reading the title of the video. Baptism! If you said baptism, congratulations! You get points that don't mean anything. But this was written to teach about baptism. It was the last of his catechism hymns. Remember, we've talked about that in previous videos, how he wrote these different hymns that reinforce the teaching of his small catechism. And it was written around the year 1540, and it was translated for us by Elizabeth Quitmeyer, whose name is also down there at the bottom of the page in the text attributions. And she actually translated this hymn to be aired on the Lutheran Hour in 1962 or 63. But I will tell you that that is not the first time that the LCMS heard the hymn it was just the first time that the English-speaking church had heard the hymn. This hymn was actually in the first official LCMS hymnal, but if you recall, our first official LCMS hymnal was in German. So this hymn has been sung by the LCMS since very super early, since before they got here. But thanks be to God for Elizabeth Quitmeyer and for the Lutheran Hour, because now we have it in English so I can sing it, because I don't know very much German apart from the words for like newspaper and strawberry, which is not very useful, and a little bit of theological stuff and stuff from singing in choir in college. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. So what this video is about is the hymn, and what this hymn is about is baptism, and specifically, as the title gives away, it is about Jesus' baptism. But not just Jesus' baptism. It uses that story of Christ's baptism in the Jordan River to explain our own baptisms, to talk about what baptism is and what its effects are, what it means for us. So this video is already plenty long. I'm looking at my timestamp down there, so I am just going to share with you the last verse. All that the mortal eye beholds is water as we pour it. Before the eye of faith unfolds the power of Jesus' merit. For here it sees the crimson flood, to all our ills bring healing. The wonders of his precious blood, the love of God revealing, assuring his own pardon. So just kind of a teaser for the hymn, but also kind of a summary of what baptism is. I am going to actually link the text down below. I'll link to St. Paul's in Fort Wayne. They have it printed on their website. And also I'll link to CPH's YouTube channel, where they have a really pretty version of this, so you can read the text and sing the hymn or listen to the hymn at the same time, especially if you are not going to be able to be with us in church this Sunday, but you're interested to hear those other 6 verses that I didn't get a chance to share. So thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you guys learned something, and we will see you next time. Bye.